Second reading, an ordinance to change zoning map classification from rural RU to light industrial, ID-1, tax map number 068-00-00-002, 165 acres. Property owner, Dillon Property Holding, LLC, proposed location bisected by Industrial Park Road and north of Fairfield Road, Dillon, South Carolina. This requires a motion. Have a motion?
I make a motion to pass the second reading.
Okay, the second.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Four B, second reading. An order to provide budget appropriations for county purposes in the county of Dillon for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2021, and ending June the 30th, 2022, and adopt and implement rates and fees and for other tax purposes and county appropriation purposes to establish the tax millage to provide for the budget. This requires a motion. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, can I make a couple of comments as county administrator? Just for clarification purposes, Station 5, which is in the Carolina section, what I call the Carolina section up in that area, off Highway 57 North, we have a fire department at that station up there. And I know the committee met the other night. I just want to clarify to council that we've got in the budget to hire somebody to be up there 8 to 5 Monday through Friday at that station, and that we feel like that if we can get this person up there and get more active with the community up in that part of the county, we feel like we can get that station more fully up and running than what we had in the past. But that station will be manned Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we'll have some.
I feel like if we get an engineer and open it up, we'll get enough volunteers for our fire department.
I feel confident we can. We have in the past, and I think with Councilman McLeod's help up in that area and Mr. Moody's help too, in the area up there too, that I feel like we can get some. We can help get some more volunteers up in that area, get more activity up in there. And I think if we can, show that we've got activity up there in that area and show that we've got equipment, we're going to get the proper equipment, the proper training in that area. I think that could be a big impact to that area and a big impact to that county. I think the prior county councils made a commitment to build that station up there and to get it up operational and running. And I feel like that. I think that what we've got in this year's budget, I'm going to go ahead and advertise now and get somebody up there as quick as I can. And I think it'll add a lot to that area, a lot of security to that area. It'll also add more fire protection, fire ability to react up in the area. And the good thing about it is that area is potentially growing around the county. It's one of the areas up there that's growing in that particular area. So I just want to reiterate the importance that it is from my standpoint, and I think council feels like this is a very important issue that needs to be addressed. And I think Mr. McLeod's been taking a good lead on trying to get this put together too.
Also, I'd like to say for the record, I'd like to say we had a very good meeting yesterday, very productive meeting with the safety committee, and we came to a consensus that we need to hire somebody full-time. This is a listen right here. I think when you establish any budget, public safety should be paramount. So that was one of my major concerns. We have that handled moving forward. But although I do agree with Councilman Campbell in the future that we need to look at hiring an HR director. That's something that we really need to look at because it's very important.
Any more discussion?
Yes, where are we with that, Clay? We making any more changes to the budget?
Yeah, right now we've got change. We did that change was definitely made to shore up that position up there, Station 5. We are looking at basically using some of the state recovery money. We don't have money in there for the HR position at this point, but it's something maybe council wants to go back and look at and see. I think there's going to be some probably going to look at some amendments this year coming to the budget due to some of the fee issues that.
So is there no way we can go ahead and put this into this budget before we pass it? We can come to the table and decide on the other stuff.
Take a look at it and see. But I mean, it's we're already using some of the recovery money to balance the budget now. We're using about $300,000 and some to do the balance the budget.
Which we know we could use. We spoke about a couple things in a couple places where we can use this money. The last time when the budget didn't pass, we had a candid conversation about trying to help everybody else in the county struggling. When we have a pertinent position such as HR, I think that that's important and it needs to be added right away. We're looking at, you still got $50,000 looking at giving the city's passed their budget, they're operating, so obviously, undoubtedly, they're not in need of that. You're looking at economic development fund where you're still talking about giving the school an additional $100-some thousand. They're not in need of that. They got $13.5 million in CARES Act, plus other money, is something listed in the paper, they got another additional $30,000. So are we really in a position to still be fighting the battle of giving the school district money, and we need pertinent positions like this?
Yeah, I know. Well, for the school standpoint, they did help us this year, fund some of the resource officers and stuff like that, so they got additional money.
We can always amend the budget. We can't raise any millage, but we can amend the budget as we go on, but I'm not for amending or doing anything that we find out about this road tax money and find out if we're getting it or not, because that's $1 million.
Well,
And if we don't get it, we're gonna have to cut some people, maybe follow.
well, we know we get it. We already started collecting the tax for this year. We already collecting it, so it ain't no turning back at this point. And then you still talking about the school gave us money, but if they gave us $400,000, you can give them $180,000 back. What did they really give us?
Well, they gave us additional money this year to cover school resource officers.
But you gonna give them 180 of that back.
Well, I mean,
So did they really give us 400, or what did they give
well,
us?
they gave us some more increase than they did in the past.
And did that come from the school or from the state?
Well, it's through the state, through
Through the state, to the school, through the state. So what did the school really give us?
I mean, the school's always been able to, well, they didn't have to do that, but they could have.
I mean, I understand, but the question was, what did the school really give us?
Schools provide us a lot of.
Just let the record reflect, I'm voting against the budget because I don't think that we've done due diligence. I've been saying we need to meet. We have not met as a council. We've had workshops, we have not met as a council, and we need to be more transparent in these meetings and make sure that we are affording the citizens the opportunity to get what they deserve. And it's more things. I'm glad that we got Councilman McLeod squared away with the fire department. That's very important. But there are some things that are of just as even importance, if not more. As I said to you before, there's anybody that owns a major corporation or a business that tell you the first hire is an HR director. We spend over $20 million in this county a year, and we don't have an HR person. That's ridiculous. And you said your own self that every other county you've been in, out of 6 of those counties, 5 of those counties, you hired an HR director. You told me that. So if it was important in Kershaw and if it was important everywhere else, why is it important in Dillon?
We've operated before without it. So
I didn't ask if we operate. I said, why is it important? I know we've operated. Why is it important in Dillon?
One of the things is I'm a little concerned about balancing the budget. I do take the fact that this is my 25th budget, my 25th year of being passing the budget, so I'm a little concerned about balancing the budget and looking at the overall numbers of what we need to do. That's my number one concern.
I get that, but we like I said, we got all this, again, you can balance the budget if we cut out some of this fat, when we spend the money that we obviously don't have to spend. If we giving money away and we can't balance our budget and hire pertinent positions, then we won't have to give away, so why are we giving them away?
We've had this discussion before. Any more discussion?
We've had it before, sir, but I'm a councilman just like you, and he has a right to answer my questions. No, ain't no problem.
We have a
all
motion.
elected, brother.
We have a motion and it's been seconded.
And we in discussion, and I have discussion, I want him to answer my questions.
He answered your question.
Well, let him finish answering, let him finish answering. You don't have the right to cut me off, I'm not a citizen.
I'm trying to.
That's right. And if we had the attorney here, he could tell you that, but he's not present. Again,
Amen.
we fussing about stuff, but we keep letting certain positions slide. This is probably the 12th meeting that he hasn't been present at. We have bigger fish to fry, and we keep circling back around and just letting stuff go. And fly as it may, depending on who the person is. But you can move on, I'm not voting for it.
Okay, we got a motion in a second. All in favor of approving the second reading, raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, now number 4C, third reading. An ordinance to change zoning map classification from residential 3 RS3 to rural RU tax map number 070-03-00-039, 28.73 acres. Property owner Tom Latimer, Amy O'Dell, Cindy Welders. Proposed location, South Carolina. We need a motion for the pass the third reading.
I make that motion, Mr.
We
Chair.
have a motion. Get a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, now number 5, new business. Rock and Road bid.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I got Mr. Gaddy here. We advertised for the CTC. We advertised for the CTC to do some more rock and roads. Mr. Gaddy was handled the bidding process, and he will be glad to explain to you what the bids were.
Okay, yeah, we had 5 bids for the road rocking. I think it's about 12,700 tons. R.E. Goodson was the low bidder at $22.75 a ton. And Green Dream International was $24.10 a ton. Palmetto Corp. Conway was $23.90 a ton. South Carolina Rock was $23.85 a ton. Heritage Hauling was $26.49 a ton. This will be paid through for the money appropriated to it by the CTC.
Right, this is basically the money that we handle all the bidding process for the CTC. For the
Have we used any of these companies in the past?
Yes, we used South Carolina Rock one time, and we used R.E. Goodson.
What was the low bid again?
R.E. Goodson was $22.75 a ton.
And their work was okay?
Yeah, I think Jerry was
Rocks
happy
and
with
all
it.
of
I think.
I'd make a motion that we take the lowest bid.
And we got a motion to take the lowest bid. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we now on 5B, bonus checks, county employees, U.S. Treasurer, state and local fiscal recovery fund.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we normally give a county bonus the first week in August, usually that week, due to the budget passage. We were basically, what I was going to recommend to council that we do still give the bonus and maybe increase the bonus to 1,000, but we would basically need to delay it for a week to be able to do it. I'd like to come back for council the first week in August and actually finalize the policy. It looks like most county employees would be covered under $1,000 unless if you've been here for the past year. Basically what we'll do is we'll look at the time from March 1st, 2020, based on the Recovery Act funds, is that based on March 1st, 2020 until at least May, or at least
When the governor
last month in June, declared the state out of an emergency situation, so we can take money to do that. Basically, you would look at if they work at least 1,000 hours during that period of time, that they would receive the recovery aid money from $1,000. So I think I know that 3 other counties in the state are doing that at this particular time. So I would recommend that we probably take a look at that. But I will get council to come back in the week after the 6th, will be the next week after that, to pass the final policy. But it looks like most of the employees would basically qualify for $1,000 because, just for the record, more than anything else, is that, we were looking at the other day. I mean, during the COVID time, I would personally like to thank EMS. I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Department. I'd like to thank the Detention Center. I'd like all my emergency service people. I mean, I'd also like to thank my staff and the treasurer staff and the auditor staff and the probate judges staff and the clerk of court, because as a lot of people shut down during the COVID time, a lot of our employees came in to work. A lot of our employees came in to work, and worked diligently during that time. And when a lot of state and federal agencies were shut down because we were working with them, and a lot of our employees did not get to go home remotely. A lot of our employees had to come to work. And so therefore, this may be a small gesture of showing good faith in employees that, that, hey, we appreciate the work that they did during the COVID time.
Do you have any part-time help, Clay?
We had some part-time help during that time, and I think they'll receive some of that too. It's like during that time too.
That sounds real good. I know they can use that. They're going to extra mile the work doing this.
Just make sure we pay everybody the same thing.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
That's the only thing about it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get paid the same, if you work during that particular time. And most employees would work 1,000 hours when you think during that period of time. So I think that's been pretty fair from that standpoint there.
If somebody's just been hired, just work 4 weeks or something, it's prorated. You know, based
They probably
on
won't get the
everybody's
full, they won't get a
same
full check if they came over and only worked for, a third of that time. Most employees would work at least that time or more.
But we'll come up with a list and see how it finds out.
We have a motion to give everybody $1,000.
I made that motion, Chairman. I made that motion.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we have, 5C, fire equipment purchase. And when I did it, Fire Station 9, they got an engine that, they go for the forestry department, and, if it's broke down, it's not feasible to fix it because too much, and also that rescue vehicle is shot. And, they're lucky they have a couple of volunteers out there that work for Howell Springs Fire Department in Florence.
Right.
And they found some nice vehicles, and the fire chief over there, I think, really felt sorry for Dillon County, and they offered them to us at a bargain. And everybody got a package that shows them it's a rescue truck that Section 9 needs, and the engine that they need, and it's 2 tankers. The tankers are 1,500 gallon tankers with 500 gallons per minute pumps on them. And I know Lakeview needs one right now, and I think Fire Station 5 does. And they gonna let us have all this stuff for $35,000, but the chief said they have another engine, but they gonna keep it until the new fire truck comes in, and we can get it for $3,000. So we can get all 5 trucks for $38,000. You can't buy a pickup for that.
Right.
And everybody's got it in their pocket, they can look at it.
Mr. Chairman, I got Mr. Arnett and Mr. Gaddy, top of our great fire chief there in Oak too, if anybody wants to.
Would you like to say anything, Chief?
Yes, all these trucks, we went and checked out Mr. Wackel, went and checked these trucks out, could not find an oil leak on them. Every one of them had very low mileage. The only thing, the medium rescue is a 97 instead of a 96. It's only had, that's the highest mileage was 38,000 miles on it. The rest of them was like down in the 11s and 20s, 22,000 miles. Trucks ain't hardly been used. They're still using these trucks. They're sucking out trucks. You can't beat a deal like this here for like I said, 4 trucks pretty much at that price. And this is actually, we're actually looking at 2 trucks. Is the engine, that's the 88, and they're medium rescue for 95. The tankers, both are pumper tankers. Other departments need these tankers, like Lakeview needs tankers, which you got 500 gallons per minute pumps on these trucks. They don't have to be pumped. They don't have to be pump tested because of the low rating of the pump. But they can also be used on grass fires or car fires to keep your primary out of the shop. So if you steady running your main truck, it's either going to the shop for maintenance and all this here. So you can run that up and down the road. It's going to save the county some money. So it's a good deal.
Appreciate your comment.
I got one question, Chairman. They got these trucks listed here with each asking price on them. And the asking price, if you add all these trucks together, it's $46,000. And at the bottom it says Dillon County would like to purchase these 4 trucks at $35,000. I mean, we need to get straight to that.
We can go and get another engine for $3,000 more, I think.
Yeah, what I'm saying is what they got listed here is 46 and at the bottom is 35.
Yeah.
It's, when he told me, the chief over there, Billy Dillon, told me that trucks are for 35, 3 of them, and he would give us it for the engine, the 88, is what he told me over there.
Clay, that money will come out the CARES Act funding?
Yeah.
We have a motion to purchase the fire equipment.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion, is there a second?
I said,
Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we're now on the old business, 6A, county vehicle policy concerning tractors.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, if it's okay with this, I'd like to refer this policy back to the administrative committee. There's some changes I'd like to address on it, and I think there's some other tractor, I mean, give us an opportunity to look at it, if y'all wouldn't mind the administrative committee reviewing it, in more detail, and I want to get some legal things, and I want to make sure I'm clarification on before we finalize the policy. So if y'all wouldn't mind, I'd like to refer it back to the committee and let the committee bring it back to the full council, if that's okay with y'all.
I need to make a motion to table.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table. Second.
There's been a motion and second to table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we're down on number 7 now, appointments. A, Tax Appeal Board, District 1, got an appointment.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Mr. Johnny Ellen to the Tax Appeals Board, District 1.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Johnny
Ellen.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, 7B, Grievance Committee, District 2.
I'd like to make a motion, I want to appoint Tony Price to the grievance board.
Okay, we got a motion from Tony Price, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Here we are on number 8, adjourn, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I second.
all in favor, raise your right hand.
Hey.